This video demonstrates how we can edit animated motion using spacetime constraints. All of the examples on this video were recorded in real time from an Apple Power Macintosh 8500 personal computer. Using constraints, we can edit this rotoscoped jumping motion by dragging the position of the character's hand at the apex of the jump. The solver reconfigures the motion to maintain the constraints that the character is on the floor at the beginning and end of the jump, and that the character does not skid while on the floor. The interactive solver may not provide the desired solution. However, the user can provide more constraints to achieve the desired result. In this example, we edit a rotoscoped walking motion. Constraints in this example specify the positions of the footplants. For this example, we select a sub-range of the motion to specify the desired scale of the changes. If we did not specify a sub-range, the entire motion could be altered. Repositioning the footplant constraints allows us to change the walking motion. The interactive solver provides solutions fast enough to allow direct manipulation. The solution will satisfy the constraints but may not be an acceptable motion. The interactivity of the system allows the user to perform additional editing operations to achieve a desirable result. For comparison, we demonstrate motion displacement mapping. Previously, the best methods for the tasks our methods address. Like our methods, motion displacement mapping allows editing motion by dragging points. However, unlike spacetime constraint methods, motion displacement mapping by itself provides no mechanism for maintaining constraints on other frames of the motion. This previous method requires the user to make adjustments to maintain the constraints. Our approach removes this burden from the user. In this example, we allow the solver to adjust the locations of the footplant constraints. These constraints prevent skidding. When we drag the character's hand to have it grab an imaginary object, the character not only reaches forward, but also takes larger steps in order to meet its goal. The original motion is shown in blue for comparison. Our methods extend to 3 dimensions, although many interface challenges arise. In this walking example, as well as all of the examples that follow, we edit motion obtained by optical motion capture. Setting a time range for the edit restricts the solver to altering only frames within the specified range. This is useful for preserving continuity. It can also improve solver performance because fewer variables and constraints are considered. The motion has footplants, or actually ankle plant constraints. These constraints can serve as handles for editing the motion. Any footplant can be dragged at any time, although visualizing the effects of the edits can be problematic. If we do not like the motion provided by the solver, we can add additional constraints to better specify the desired motion. Here, we adjust the viewpoint to facilitate manipulation and reposition the hip in one of the frames. Previous constraints are preserved as new constraints are added. Additional constraints, such as balance, could have been added to increase the chance that the initial solutions would be desirable. However, such constraints would jeopardize the interactivity of our system, which we feel is crucial to our approach. This running motion data includes the character's feet. We have only placed footplant constraints on the character's toes. The temporary spikiness of the footpaths are artifacts of the non-interpolatable motion capture data. The solver cleans these anomalies when the mouse button is released. This skipping motion was generated by processing raw optical motion capture data with a non-interactive version of our solver. The interactive solver uses sequential quadratic programming to solve the nonlinear constrained optimization problems. Its design emphasizes fast solutions, sometimes at the expense of generating realistic animations. Because the solver is so fast, the user can quickly see any problems and use additional constraints to correct them. We have consciously chosen to emphasize user control rather than solver intelligence. This example uses sliding footplant constraints. When we reposition the head at the end of the motion, the character not only twists and leans, but also changes its path. The footplant constraints ensure that the feet do not skid while on the floor, so a consistent walking motion is maintained. This final example uses sliding footplant constraints, position constraints to ensure the hands touch the object to pick it up, and distance constraints to keep the hands the correct distance apart while the character carries the object away. The solver can maintain these constraints while the user repositions the object. Because the constraint optimization problem must be solved over the entire motion between each redraw, our solver may not provide adequate interactive rates on larger problems like this example. We include this example because it shows what our techniques are capable of on current generation personal computers.